Back when I reorganized my racks, and I'm doing it by alphabetical order, I left Toronto and Vancouver on the rack that's behind this camera. Why? Because I have a lot of Toronto and Vancouver jerseys, including this one. I got this from Ben 8 Sports. This, of course, being the St. Patrick's Day for the St. Patrick's Day we didn't have when everything got shut down. So, yeah, Toronto, and it's not too shabby. But, hey, Toronto Maple Leafs jersey history. The bad news is I don't have any of the really like old and fun ones. The good news is they're always doing throwbacks. They're always in specialty games. They're always doing something with Toronto. So I do have a ton of Toronto gear. Let's get started. Now, technically, if we're going in chronological order of what they wore, the oldest jersey I have of theirs is this one from the 80s. This one as well from the 80s. This one I got through Ben H Sports, and this is during that era where they weren't winning anything. The entire 80s, they never had a winning record the entire 80s. They had one 500 season, and of course, being a Vancouver fan, I can relate. We didn't even have that 500 season in Vancouver. So yeah, Toronto, it was an era that didn't succeed, but you know, the jerseys, I remember as a kid thinking they were kind of boring. I remember thinking the Maple Leaf was kind of boring, and then they had the Maple Leaf on the shoulders. It has aged better than some other jerseys from the 80s for sure. I would honestly not be surprised to see a modified version of this at some point as a third jersey. I don't think the Leafs ever wear this logo again. They didn't wear anything when they wore it. So this logo you could look at as being jinxed. That'd be fine if you do. And yeah, so this is their 80s and I don't think they wear it again. Now, in the recent editions market, I picked up this one very recently on eBay. Found a user, or an eBay seller who was giving this up. This was used when I got it, of course. It's a Wendell Clark, and this is the 75th anniversary NHL. You can tell by the giant 75th anniversary logo that they threw on those jerseys. And again, nice jersey, and this is a throwback to an old Maple Leaf. So you look at the Maple Leaf they have currently, it is very similar to old Maple Leafs they wore before. And again, when this came out, I remember thinking, why don't they just use that regularly? That looks so much better than the plain Maple Leaf that they were wearing at the time. I stand corrected. This is the oldest that they wore that I have in my collection. I got this one through, I believe it was through Cole Hockey. No, Ice Jerseys. And so what's the difference? The tie right here. Eventually, these ties went away in the late 70s, early 80s. But that's the big difference. The font is a little bit different between the two jerseys as well. But yeah, this one technically they wore before that other one I showed you guys at the start. I'm sorry. Makes me a dirty, filthy liar right there. I do apologize. This is the oldest one they've worn that I have in my collection. So this is where the collection takes kind of a detour. So this is a Coho. I got this one through Ben 8 Sports. A subscriber had sent me one as well, which was I believe an extra large, so I wanted one more in my size, especially with this V-neck. I don't want 70s film music to be playing when I walk into a room. I don't want people to be looking over going, wow, all he needs is chains. So, yeah, with the plunging V and all that, this is the one which had TML on the sleeve. Now, for my money, to me it sort of looked like FML, but that's a whole other argument for a whole other time. And I never liked the TML on the sleeve. I never liked that at all. Now, what's interesting is eventually they would go back. They would go back to having a maple leaf on the sleeve. So, after the 80s, they went to a 90s design that was like this. They would eventually go back to and get rid of the TML, where you have the leaf on the shoulder. And again, it's that logo people don't like, with the logo people do like on the shoulder. Like, oh, we know what you want, but we're going to put that on the shoulder. Sort of like Columbus with the cannon, right? So, this one here, this one I got last year from Pro Hockey Life, when Pro Hockey Life had all of their Reeboks on for $29.99. I snatched that one up. And this one here, I got this one through Lids before they were bought by Fanatics because it was on sale. You'll notice a Captain C on there, and it's a Dion Phaneuf. So I paid $40 for it, and the blank one was over $100, and I'm like, well, all right, I'll save $60, $80 or whatever it was by getting one without a name or with the name on it that people don't like. That's fine. And that's three Leafs jerseys I have with a Captain C on the front. So, yeah. And again, One joke that I've always made is I've always got jerseys for cheap when it comes to the Leafs. Usually because their playoff record hasn't been fantastic. Now, this one here, this is the third they had around turn of the century, and this is where they were getting ready to go back. I mean, look, this is a throwback, and this is what they were now. Very, very little difference between the logos. There are minor differences, but it's a very small difference. This is why when they brought this logo out, they were explaining what the 13 is, what this means on the logo, and I'm like, yeah, it's very similar to what you guys wore before. You really don't need to have a thesis about why you changed it back to something that was pretty darn nice. And again, this showed we know what people want. We know what works. We know what's great for the Leafs. But we're going to keep this logo anyways. Eventually, they smartened up when it came to that. Now, this is the third that I like very much. This is the third that is a throwback to the last time they won a Stanley Cup, 1967. And you'll see that the logo is a little bit different. And it's sort of a felt material here. It's not as soft a felt as some of the other ones, so I find it doesn't pill the way some of the other ones do. This one I got through, I'm pretty sure I got this one through Lids as well. Again, I used to get really good deals through Lids before they got taken over, and it's probably part of the reason they got taken over. I don't think their profit margins were anywhere near as high as they have to be in order to survive. It's one of those things with business. Are you making money? Well, we're taking money in, but how's your profits? Look what we sold. Anyway, yeah, I like the striping on it. Solid design. And again, this is one of the reasons why I haven't been, working really, really hard to find a lot of old Leafs jerseys, because they do throwbacks all the time. All right, so we're going to get into the Adidas era, and then we're going to look back a little bit. So you'll notice, too, that the jerseys I don't have of Toronto's is when they did away with stripes at the bottom of their jerseys at the start of the Reebok era, which everybody lost their minds about, and Brian Burke was kind of like, come on, really? You guys care about the stripes on the jerseys? You really care? And they did, so they brought them back. Don't have jerseys from that era. Now, this, of course, is what they changed back to. This is a modified version of the Leaf they had on their jersey from 1939 through to the 1960s. And it's a sharp jersey. Neckline looks nice. Everything with the Leafs is solid. And this one I got through Ben H. Sports. This one here, this one I got through Ben as well. Now, what's interesting with this one, of course, is there's an A on the front, and it's Tavares on the back. So I get the comments of, you need to get that changed to a captaincy. Look at that, he's got Dan in his jersey. He doesn't even know that Tavares is the captain. Or it makes it a vintage jersey, because it's when he was an assistant captain. I don't really care. So, yeah, the white Leafs jersey I think is really, really sharp. I think this is the nicest design they've had in my lifetime as their primary. Now, when we get into the specialty jerseys, and you get into the stadium jersey from not that long ago, this is gorgeous. And now, what made this not work was that they wore white shorts with it. All they had to do was put on a blue pair of shorts, and it would look fine. The white shorts made it look weird. But, overall, solid jersey. And I like the striping on this. And, of course, it says here the honor, pride, and all that stuff. And right here, ready. And then throwbacks. Oh, I got your throwbacks when it comes to the Adidas throwbacks. And I'm not done. This is nowhere near done. The St. Patrick's, gorgeous jersey. Throwback to when they were the St. Pats. And I love this jersey. Ben still has some of these too. I don't know why. As soon as they were coming in, and he's like, I don't know why people like these. And I was like, I'll take it. I'll take one, yes. Absolutely, yes. I love these jerseys. And also, as well, of course, the Aretnas. And I call them the Aretnas because the T's right in the middle of arenas. I know it's Toronto Arenas, and there's some nice stitching in here. Overall, this is a nice jersey as well. A little busy with the stripes, but it's solid. I have to keep changing hands because I've got 5 jerseys at once here. It gets a little bit heavy. So yeah, the Arenas, solid throwback that they did to their first ever Stanley Cup, and right here, honor, pride, and courage right inside the neckline. Pretty solid overall look, but there's more. There's something about the Leafs and being able to do specialty jerseys. This one's absolutely fantastic. Love this jersey a lot. This one I got through Retro True Heritage on eBay. They don't have it anymore because it's a Van Riemsdyk. It's 21. And of course he changed his number and people lost their mind about that. I like the silver right here on the Leafs. that it's done in silver rather than in blue. And it's overall, it's a very, very nice looking jersey. I like the silver stripes on it. I always thought this was one that they should bring back as a third or fourth, or hey, maybe change your regular jerseys. But again, I did a video on that, and most of these fans went, nah, don't do that. So that's fine. And I wanted to talk about these as well, and I'm still not near done. This is this year's All-Star jersey, and I got Toronto in the white All-Star jersey because it just works. It is a single color logo, and it's not that different from the regular jersey, but the silver is nice. And I know these jerseys didn't sell. That's why, again, Ben H Sports, he's got them on sale because they really didn't sell this year. And again, I think part of it is because the stripes look kind of boring until you see it in the light there and you see the sparkle that they have. And it was overall kind of a miss, but you know, the attempt was there, the effort was there. And then I also wanted to show this because this is a fashion jersey I have of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is a black ice Toronto Maple Leafs. And this is absolutely gorgeous. I got this one through Lids. Yeah, I got this one through Lids. And it is fantastic. I remember this is when they used to do ship to store. And when I opened this one up, the comment right away was, I'm not a Leafs fan, but that looks really nice. And it does, and it shows that, you know, Toronto, they could have some fun with a darker colored jersey, and you could end up with something fantastic. So, again, really like this one a lot, but still not done. So I believe this is the last of the Toronto Maple Leafs jerseys. I believe this is it. Pretty sure this is it. That being said, of course, I missed a Pittsburgh one the other day, and then there are other jerseys I've missed in and along these playlists. This is a winter classic that I wanted to end with because I think it's a very, very nice look for them. And again, this is, you know, classic throwback felt logo. This one's the softer felt, so you got to watch for things like cat hair. And you've got to watch for just pilling and that kind of thing. I don't wear this very often. I got this one a few years ago. I got this one through, I think it was through Lids, but it could have been through Ice Jerseys. Remember, I got this. There were 3 jerseys I got that day, and I remember I took a picture and posted it to Facebook because I was so proud that I got 3 jerseys that day, and this was one of the 3. No, Sport Check. I got this at Sport Check, and I remember I got this one for pretty darn cheap at Sport Check as well. I think it was $50 at Sport Check. It was on clearance. The weird thing is it was on clearance because I'm here in BC, and yet if you're in Toronto, it wasn't on sale at all. So that's one of those weird things where I would get a deal on a Toronto jersey, and a lot of the stuff you guys have seen today, I got deals on along the way. There are even Leaf jerseys that are no longer in my collection that I gave up because of the shape they were in that I got for like $20. So, yeah, there's more Leaf stuff that hasn't been in this video because I don't have it in my collection at this point. And, yeah, this is not the last jersey either because there's still one more to go. So through Sports K, I got this not that long ago, and this one's awesome, and it's Sundin. So if it's a Toronto captain, I probably have their jersey over the last 30 years. Yeah, and again, you know, it's sharp. What I like, this has the nice neckline, the nice stretchy neckline, stretchy looking as well on the bottom here. It's not, but it kind of looks that way. But yeah, Toronto St. Pat's, when they do throwbacks to that, I like it. And yeah, solid, and it's a Matt Sundin jersey. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure that's all the Maple Leafs gear I've got. Again, I got this through Sports K jerseys. I don't think they still have the Sundin in my size. This is a small. I don't think they still have more of them in that size. But yeah, there you go. A lot of Toronto Maple Leafs. And tomorrow I get to do Vancouver. And the only team I have more of than Toronto, I think, is Vancouver. Maybe Boston I have more of than Toronto, but it's close. So if Toronto ever goes on a nice long playoff run, I have a lot of different jerseys to wear for that playoff run. Consider me getting ready for that playoff run. And for Toronto fans out there who are convinced that I absolutely hate the team, has to be like, why does he get those? He shouldn't have those. Just send them to my house. You shouldn't have those. There you go. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.